Hey there guys, welcome to the next tutorial here on the DuctTapeStuff channel, and in this tutorial I'm going to show you how to make something really cool. That is the Mickey Mouse ears out of duct tape. So it's a really cool creation. I've been wanting to do it for a while, ever since I went to Disney, and now we're going to be making that in this tutorial. Now this tutorial is also going to be on how to make like a duct tape helmet. So if you guys remember my tutorial on how to make the Captain America shield out of duct tape, and I wore like a duct tape Captain America helmet for that video, I'm going to show you pretty much how to make that as well. So the major part of the tutorial is going to be how to make the Mickey Mouse ears, but if you do want to make the Captain America helmet that I wore in that video, I will show you the tips on and pretty much how I made that, and then you can take that path if you want to. Now before we get started here, there are a couple things that you probably should have when you start this tutorial, and that is one of them, if you guys have one of these tape measures where it's flexible tape measures, you just click a button and it retracts itself just like that. If you guys have one of these at home, it's going to be extremely helpful to you if you have one of these. So definitely pull one of these out if you have one. If you don't have one of those, you guys can use string. If you have some string, you just pull a decent roll of it out and a pair of scissors, and I'll show you how to use the string when we get to that. But if you have a tape measure like this, a flexible tape measure, that'll work perfectly. So let's get started here on the tutorial. Okay, so let's get started here. Now your very first step, if you're making your Mickey Mouse ears, is you're going to stick a whole bunch of strips together to make a perfectly circular strip that's going to go over your head. Now you pretty much just want to take your tape measure or your string and just measure it all the way around your head. If you're making the Mickey Mouse ears, you're going to go above your ears. So this is going to sit like right on top of your ear. If you're making the Captain America helmet, you're going to go about halfway down on your ears. So bear that in mind, because with your ears, your strip here is going to be a little bit longer, a little bit wider, and if you're making it on top of your ears, it's going to be a little bit less. So decide which one you want to go with, and then you just stick those strips together until you get the right size. Slip it over your head several times. Make sure that it sits on top of your ears or goes directly around your ears and it's nice and tight and snug on there, and then you're ready to go. So obviously you have no sticky sides on here. It's all just one giant strip stuck together. That's your first step. So make that strip that'll fit all the way around your head. Now this next step is where your tape measure, or if you don't have your tape measure, it's where your string is going to come into play. Next thing you want to do is put this on top of your head. Make sure that it sits on there without any trouble. You're going to take your tape measure, if you have it, and you're just going to hold it here, so this will be right above your ear, and you're just going to move this all the way across till it gets to the other side, which would be right over here. Now you have to picture yourself wearing this, and then you just stretch this around the top of your head and see what the length of it is. And you want to hold it obviously where it ends, and that will give you the length over the top of your head coming to the other side. So if your ear was over here and your other ear was over here, it'd be directly across from your two ears, that bridge in between. Now if you don't have your tape measure, this is where your string comes into play. Just take a bunch of string, like a longer roll, if you have like a decent amount, hold it on the end right here, stretch it over top of your side of your head, and then just hold it with your other finger where the top of your ear is, where this strip starts on top of your head, and then you just cut it with a pair of scissors, and then you have your total length of the strip here. Now obviously you can measure that. This is about 13 inches long, and then you can cut the strips to be exactly that length. So let's start cutting the strips and then just bridging this gap straight across, and then we'll start doing that to make our dome for the Mickey Mouse ears or the Captain America helmet, whatever you're making. So here we have two strips that are 13 inches long each, and I'm just going to very simply stick these two strips together. Now for me it was 13 inches from ear to ear across the band here, but obviously it's going to be different for every single person. Everyone's head is a different size. So you're going to just stick those two strips together, and then you're just going to take two small strips, add a little bit of little sticky part, to each side. Just allow a decent amount on the actual strip here, and then a decent amount of sticky part showing on each side. And that'll give you enough room to stick it down. Then you're just simply going to take it here and just going to stick it on one side, and then just come all the way across and stick it on the other side. Now this is where it really comes into play. If you want to actually stick this part on your head and then attach it that way, that will make sure you can do it as tight as possible, and then it'll make a perfectly circular dome. Now if you do have someone helping you out, this can also really come into play. So if you put this on top of your head and have them stick this part straight across your head, so they'll be able to see exactly how tight it needs to be and stuff like that. If you have someone to help you out, this will be a huge help to you in this tutorial. But like I said, once you get that on top of your head, you can slip this on, make sure that it's tight, and then if you need to readjust it, add a little bit to it, cut a little bit off, you can do that. And then we're obviously going to put another one straight across, and then just keep doing this until we have our dome. So let's get started on those steps right now. And then we've got our next strip here, which is about to be stuck across just like this, you know, kind of just crossing right over top like a bridge. One thing I just came across in between these two steps, which I think I should probably tell you about, is that make sure you are compensating for this part, that this strip is pretty high up by itself. And then you just need to bridge the gap maybe a little bit over here and over on the other side. You don't have to come all the way down to the bottom here. My last measurement I said was about 13 inches. Well, I didn't actually compensate for that much length on the sides than I really should have, and it turned out to be really about 8.5 inches for across. So that's, you know, just make sure you're, you know, just compensating for that large part on the top, on the bottom and on the sides. And you know, it's not really a problem. I just had to cut off a little bit of extra tape. So I mean, it's not the end of the world or anything like that. But you want to just make sure that you're not wasting as much tape as possible, and you do want to make sure that it is tight straight across. So I just attached those. I want to make sure I put it on my top of my head, make sure that it's tight, and then once you get that tight, you can actually connect these two, and then that will hopefully keep that from going anywhere. Then we can start doing the crisscrossing pattern. So let's do that part next. Alright, so doing that step 2 more times gives me 2 more strips across, so now we have pretty much like a web pattern all the way around. And like I said before, you can connect a few of these to kind of preserve the dome shape that you're trying to make. Now the next thing to do is actually cover up these pieces in between, these spots in the side. The really easy way to do that is just to take several pieces of tape, you know, maybe not quite this big because that's a little overkill for that one. Probably move over here. And then you can just cover this up just like that. And then you're probably thinking, okay, well that's going to leave sticky side on the inside, and that's true. And that's actually what we're going to do next is we're going to flip the whole thing over, take another piece of tape, and then just curl it on the inside to cover up that sticky part there. You definitely don't want any sticky part showing because otherwise it's just going to get stuck on your hair, and that's not going to be too much fun. So just do that with all these spots in the side here, and then we'll work on putting the ears on, and I'll give you some tips for the Captain America helmet if you're making that. So this is what it should look like after you stuck all those little pieces on. There's no sticky side on the outside, and more importantly, no sticky side on the inside. So now let's work on making those ears. Okay, so when it comes to the ears, you pretty much can go with whatever you want to. You don't have to even put ears if you want. If you want to put stars on there, you can do that too. But you can make them as circular as you want, as oval as you want, or you can, you know, just put them anywhere you want. If you want to put 3 ears on there, you can do that too. But I'm just going to cut out, which I did was cut out 4 strips, stuck them all together, so it's double-sided obviously. Cut out a circle from that, or a semicircle as you can see here. And basically what we're going to do now is I'm going to take a small strip here on the bottom, and decide where I want my first ear to be. Stick that part on this side, as you can see there. Flip the whole thing over, because obviously with one it's not going to work out too well, as you can see there. So we're going to take our second one, and we're just going to stick it right here, and then just put it on there just like that. And then hopefully it'll stay. A few more pieces of duct tape will probably make sure that it stays in place. And if you want to, you can actually cut a small slit in your actual hat, stick it in there, and then attach it on the inside, and that'll keep it from staying there even more. So you got a few options there, and once you have your one ear in and the way you decide to make that one, you can do the other one as well. So that's what I'm going to do next, and then we're going to discuss how to make the Captain America helmet. So after you've gotten the other ear on, that's how to make the duct tape Mickey Mouse ears. So now let's spend the rest of this time discussing how to make the duct tape Captain America helmet. Now there isn't much of a difference, as I said earlier in the tutorial, between this and the helmet. Now like I said before, if you're making the helmet, you're going to be making it a little bit farther down, so it's going to come about halfway on your ear, and it's going to go obviously one big dome all the way around on top of your head. After you get that completion, what I did was I took, 2 small triangles of brown tape, and I just cut them to look, like they were part of an actual flight helmet or what he wears. Stuck them on the sides here so that they kind of came around the side here, and then obviously used brown tape for the strap, and then the chin piece, and another strap on the other side. Now, how I came up with the shapes for this part of the helmet was I looked on Google Images and saw what it looked like, what his helmet looked like for the movie, and then cut it out from there. I did a few days before the movie came out, so it was really hard trying to find a whole bunch of images with him wearing it, but I'm sure now the movie's been out for a long time, it's probably going to come out on DVD soon. You can probably find a whole bunch more images with him wearing it, so you can get the right idea for the shape of the triangle pieces for the ears, as well as the strap and the chin piece. Now obviously I just cut out a small A for the top, stuck it on there, and with the little, little earpieces, like the little wings on the side that he has on his helmet, and then I just put those on with white tape, with EA as well with white tape. And then you have the Captain America helmet. You guys can check out the video again just to kind of see what it looks like. Check out a whole bunch of Google image pictures of him wearing it, and that's how pretty much the best way to make it would be to check out pictures of him wearing it. That's the best way to make it. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this tutorial on how to make the duct tape Mickey Mouse ears out of duct tape. I'll probably be wearing these to the park sometime, so it'd be kind of cool to walk around the park with duct tape Mickey Mouse ears. Are they perfect? Absolutely not. Are they unique? Absolutely. So every duct tape creation is unique, and these are absolutely no different than anything else that I make. So hopefully you guys enjoyed the tutorial. I will catch you pretty soon next time on the channel, and just take care. Have fun making these.